Hi everyone, welcome to the first round of 5 Minutes with Foos. Today I'm going to be talking with you about ways to go about finding good sources for your papers, specifically your research papers. You've probably heard some of these things before, some of this advice before, but we'll just kind of give you some updates and maybe there'll be some new things here for you. So I'm going to cover 3 different areas where you might look for some resources and some things to avoid and some things to look for along the way. So very first thing that would be obvious probably for you when you go to do research is to go to your Google search bar to look on the internet. So you've probably heard Wikipedia might not be the best source online for research. You never know how accurate that is. And, that's maybe becoming less true. Wikipedia has gotten better over the years, but I still would suggest if you use something like Wikipedia, use it as a starting point. Go to Wikipedia, look through the resources, the citations in the article at the bottom of the article, the Wikipedia article, and sometimes those are good resources to look at as well. So that would be a good way to use Wikipedia. Look at it for its references that the articles have used to write the Wikipedia article. Secondly, you might occasionally, when you're searching on the internet, run across a blog with some information that you might need for your research that you're doing. Again, be careful with blogs. Anybody can write a blog. Anybody can say anything they want on a blog. So you never know how accurate that information is. Again, it might be a good starting point, but it's not necessarily something you would want to use as a citation in your paper. Also, you've probably been hearing a lot in the news about fake news that is spread on the internet very easily. Again, pretty much anybody can say whatever they want on the internet. It's very easy to start a web page and start saying whatever you want. So some ways to avoid that fake news. There are a couple websites I'll tell you about. The first one is PolitiFact, and this website does a lot of fact checking, especially for political information. So maybe if you're writing a paper for a history class where there might be some political things that you need to comment on, or in whatever other context you might be looking at. PolitiFact is a very good fact-checking website. It's actually won a Pulitzer Prize, so I think it's a pretty reliable website to use. Another one that you may have heard of is Snopes, Snopes.com. Snopes looks into fake news articles on the internet, and you can search different topics to see if maybe a website that you landed on, an article that you landed on, to see if maybe it's fake news. There are some old reliable sources that might be good for you to use that have been around a really long time that you can find on the internet. For example, like the New York Times, National Public Radio is a pretty reputable news source. So look for some of those old standbys that have been around a long time. But also know that many of these news sources, especially if it is to do with political topics, the information, even for the old standbys, might have some kind of bias built into it. So just know your news sources and know what their bias might be. Another good resource for you to use would be to go under Lancer link, go to the library link, and there'll be a number of online databases that you can search for different topics, medical things, religious studies things, stuff like that. So there's some great information under the library tab on Lancer. And finally, the last source that I'll tell you about would be print materials. So periodicals, journals, books, anything that you can physically hold in your hands that has been printed. And if you think about it, these sources, especially books, they've gone through a very long process of being reviewed by publishers, many other people, editors, things like that, to ensure the accuracy and the quality of the material. Unlike a blog post that anybody can write up in 5 minutes and post on the internet, something like a book has gone through a very long process to get actually into your hands. So go into the library, look on the shelves, and pick out some books. If you need some help researching what books might work for your topic, the librarians are very good with those things. So just ask them for some help. So that's my tips for this week. I hope that they serve you well, and we'll see you in a couple weeks on 5 Minutes with Foos. All right, peace.